The savior of anime 2024 is here at long last, but also we can officially say Degeneracy of anime 2024 has began as well, because yesterday gave us quite a gift. Anyone that watched yesterday's video and yesterday's anime that released was shocked. Everybody was taken by surprise with Gushing over magical girls. But one series that has been in everybody's mind before that came into the forefront and everybody was aware of that show was Mato Seihei no Slave, or known in English as Chained Soldier. And legitimately, this is a series I have been waiting for a very long time, and many have been looking forward to this anime for a very long time, because I'm just gonna be blunt. It is definitely a degenerate, cultured anime. It is a series that is about a main character pretty much becoming a servant, a permanent servant to the main female cast and having to fight battles for them. It knows what it is. It knows what it's trying to be, and it's not trying to hide the fact of what's going on within the story. It's shameless, and I love that. And it's one of the big things that drew so many people, including myself, into Mato Seihei for the first time. And one thing in particular that I do want to point out when it comes to this series, you might have noticed something about this female character. Her design. If you take a look in the background of my video, you'll see a character on a wall scroll. That's Esdeath from Akame ga Kill. And if you look at this character here, she looks very much exactly like Esdeath that you see behind me. And the reason for that is because that same writer and artist is working on Mato Seihei. So you can kind of see the correlation there. So basically, the author of Akame ga Kill loved Esdeath's design just so much, decided to make Esdeath's design as a main character for the new manga. And that's legitimately hilarious to me, and I love that. But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's actually talk about this, because obviously there is a lot of people for the very first time is getting to experience Mato Seihei for the first time, and not really knowing what to expect. They've heard that it's degenerate, they've heard that it's culture, but, is it something that is good? Like, for instance, okay, we all know that this is going to have a lot of fan service, a lot of, ecchi moments. Yeah, we know this, and it's going to be straight up uncensored. This is something that has been established already a few days back, that Haidai will be giving us the uncensored version of this series, so anything that comes to extremely, let's say, lewd things is going to be uncensored. You're not going to have beams of light blocking the screen or anything like that, and I'm just going to be blunt with you, I don't know much about Gushing over Magical Girls that aired yesterday, but I'm telling you, as someone that has read a little bit into Mato Seihei, it's definitely going to be more explicit than that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go any further or describe it, because I don't want YouTube coming down on me and being upset. All I'm saying is that I am very happy to hear that the series will be uncensored, because it definitely needs to be, because of the content it's going to be covering. And I think one of the big things that catches everyone is that there's these reward scenes. That's exactly what the series tries to set up. And I'll talk more about this in just a second, but I want to kind of establish the plot to the characters and also what to expect with the story. So pretty much the overall story is nothing that is groundbreaking, okay? It's nothing that is relatively new in the sense of like a harem or fan service type story. I can think of quite a few series over the years and decades that have come out and all that, have a main male character that is, let's say, weak or not really destined to do anything, and then all of a sudden he has a rare chance of luck that comes his way and he's able to finally do what he wants, either be a hero or whatever, and he's surrounded by a whole female cast of characters and he has to live with them either in their dorm, go to school with them, whatever. This is a common theme you see in harem ecchi type stories, and so the very, concept of Mato Seihei is generic. However, it's thanks to these generic features is how it really stands out amongst the crowd. There is a reason why a lot of people have been looking forward to Mato Seihei. I mean, for one, it is obviously shameless with its overall depiction of certain fetishes and kinks and stuff that's within the story, but also, it does have a good, somewhat decent story underneath everything that does keep you interested, and it's not all just about fan service. There is good characters within the story that you actually can care about, and that's a big deal, because usually there is so many times where you see like a harem story or a, just an ecchi story, and all it is fan service, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, there's no substance, there's no character development, characterization, or even really a good plot. It's just fan service, and that's it. It's just like, you wish there was more. Like, in between scenes, between the fan service, you wish there was actual story taking place between scene after scene, and that is what happens within this. Now, I can't speak for the latest content. I'm not caught up with Mato Seihei's manga, but from what I have read of it, the story is decent. It is. It's not like a 10 out of 10, but it is a decent read. It is definitely something that deserves the overall hype and community that it's managed to form over the years since it's been coming out as a manga. So I, am willing to believe it gets better and better as time actually goes on. So yes, in terms of story, it does at first feel like a generic harem, but it's not. Now, besides that, actually, what is the story, okay? So, we come to find out that the world is being attacked by these demons from this world called Mato. Thus the name of the story. And these demons that come into this world, they are obviously killing people, portals open up, people can potentially get sucked in, towns can get attacked, it's a lot of death and all that. And so because of this, humanity had to form a demon defense force to be able to stand up against these demons. And that is where our main female character and the other female characters come into play. Apparently, only females within this world are able to gain powers from peaches, aka this fruit that grows in Mato, this demon realm, and when they eat it, they gain power. We don't know exactly if it's completely random or not, or if it's bloodline related, at least from the first episode, but it's very clear that they gain an ability, and guys cannot. And that is why guys, for the most part, they're just, they do their regular jobs, salary worker, whatever. That's all they do. They don't actually participate in fights. But the main character's objective is to be a hero. That's what he wants to be. It's a very standard objective, nothing crazy, but obviously when you live in a world to where you can't really do that because you can't get powers, it is definitely a long stretch to be able to become something like that. However, he's given a chance to be able to be a hero, because the ability of our main female character, Kyoka, she is able to turn someone into her servant and use them to be able to fight on the front lines. AKA, when she uses our main character, Yuki, he turns into like this demon-looking form, and he's able to fight with her, and she rides on top of him, and yeah, the whole ecchi thing is really going on there. It really is just being pushed into your face. But the point of the matter is that he's able to be an actual hero and save people. And that's the general concept of the story thus far. It does have some more to it than that is obviously foreshadowed within the first episode, but for the most part, that is all you really need to take away thus far from the first episode of Mato Seihei. Now, with that said, let's talk about the characters. So the cast of characters that are obviously introduced within this episode, they are pretty entertaining. Now, they don't all have, like, full introductions yet. We don't know exactly how all of them personality-wise are, but they all seem to be somewhat likable. Next episode, most likely, is going to be diving into their, characterization and development, finding out more about the whole cast, and kind of the dynamic that our MC is going to have to deal with going forward within this story. But for the most part, this episode was just establishing themes. It's very slow, honestly, which was to be expected because that's usually how first episodes are. And this is what made the first episode of Gushing over Magical Girls just so jaw-dropping, was because how quickly it really rushed into the whole fan service nature with the first episode. And Mato Seihei was very tame, actually. I think when people are going to cross-comparison yesterday's episode with this episode, they are going to be like, wow, this series is tame. There's really not much fan service or cultured content within this in comparison to the other one. But I promise you, give it time, it will. Now, with that being said, there is an elephant in the room that does need to be talked about. And I have seen people discuss this already, and it definitely is the only negative factor that comes to this show. It stops a series that could easily be a 9 out of 10 or even an 8 out of 10 becoming like a 7. And a 7 out of 10 isn't bad. Okay, I want to be point blank. I know a lot of people believe nowadays if it's not like 8 or 9, it's a trash series. No, it's a solid 7 out of 10 series, at least for the first episode. Now, manga-wise, I would say it's about an 8.5 out of 10, and that's because of my personal taste, obviously. Feel free to disagree with that one. But what I'm saying is the only thing that is negative with this first episode is the fact that there is a lot of usage of CGI, which was something to be expected. It is something that we kind of already saw coming. Like, anyone that was, like, let's say, watching the PV trailers and all that was kind of being established early on for a while now, we knew that there was going to be CGI. Like, the creatures and stuff that are going to be fighting our main characters were going to be fully CGI based, and we do see a lot of, like, CGI within these moments. Like, the whole chains to, like, the creature that, you know, Kyoka rides, it's fully CGI, and it's not really that bad. Like, honestly, like, if you really want to take a hard look at it, it doesn't look, like, atrocious, the CGI, but it is not, like, so horrible you can't watch. I've seen much worse, and I think the CGI is relatively decent, and it makes sense to have the CGI for monster designs. Sadly, not every series can be, let's say, like Mushoku Tensei or Jujutsu Kaisen with very lack of CGI, and so, yeah. But, anyways, the point of the matter is that, the only negative part with the first episode is that. It is just the CGI monsters, and I feel like within time, depending on how everything is, maybe they might shift away from it, but that is the only negative I've legitimately seen on this show, is just that. And I think for the most part, that's good news, because they're following the story properly. I think the voice actors hit the mark, the music is good, the background art and color patterns and stuff is really good. I see nothing wrong with that at all with the art direction. I just think, like I said, the CGI is the only thing. The fan service wise, I honestly, pretty good. I just figured that they would go even deeper into it, but they clearly didn't, so we'll see where that one goes as well. But yeah, it's solid. It's a solid first episode. Like I said, that's the only complaint I have, and I've seen other complaints on it as well, but that's it. So I'm going to drop it there. I'm going to leave it at that. I will see you all next week for the, second episode of Mato Seihei. But may you all stay safe, stay healthy, and I love you guys. Chibi out.